So we're 1 minute in. I think we should get started, and others can join in as we go. Um, I wanted to, oh, let me share my screen first. Let's see. Share screen. Agenda. Great. Okay. Um, I'm very interested in. Oh, hi, Amelia. Welcome. Um,
Good morning, everyone.
um, Very interested in um, um, what if anyone has any thoughts on when Glassfish 7 it will pass all the full platform, the web profile, the standalone, all of the the new and the existing standalone TCK tests. And it's something that um, that I'm trying to understand better. And if anyone has um, um, has a guess as to a date, um, go no it doesn't hurt to make a guess that's right or wrong. Um, I'd be most interested in any guesses if anyone has any this year. So I think
Scott, we can send a message via the forum to Arjun. He does a lot of work on glassfish. So if anyone were to know something, it's likely him.
that's welcome as as well. But just it's sort of an unknown really. But if anyone has input, whether they're not here or are, and um, um, but we can certainly ask on any forum or mailing list, and that's fine. It's hard to guess. It's hard to know, and I'm trying to follow the trend based on test failures. And speaking of which, let me just post a link to the wiki page in the platform TCK that has the um, the test results as as we go. So let's see. That's we try to update that weekly and as we go. And so if there no guesses, that's fine. I was just interested if anyone has any to share. And of course, we're interested in when other implementations will pass as well. Um, let's see. I'm going to switch to the results for a second. Can you all see the results? I don't know if I shared my whole browser or just the agenda.
Scott, it's okay, but it's too small. If you can
Okay.
enlarge the page,
Yep.
that would be great.
Okay. Let me do that. So I'm just going to scroll down to last week's, which let's see. Okay, we don't have a lot of detail, but GDK 11, 17. Okay, oh, 17. Okay, yep, that would be these. And I'm just going to open up last week's JDK 17 results. Um, oh, actually, sorry, it's right there. Actually, I see it now. Yeah, so 5,000 failures with JDK 17. So I just wanted to bring note to the fact that um, running Glassfish under JDK 17 at the moment, we get more failures, and um, that, that is, let's see, due to, let's see, I will get the issue and get that up on the screen. There we go. Okay, so let me make sure this issue goes into the agenda too. Okay. So it's due to open glassfish issue that is impacting our JDK 17 testing. So there's kind of an open question. When will glassfish support running on JDK 17 is another issue kind of related to when will glassfish run pass all the platform TCK tests, even just on JDK 11. But 17 seems to be its own separate question, just because it's unknown. Will glassfish have to change a lot of components to fix issues like this one? I don't know, but we're waiting for updates on that issue. So it's possible that glassfish will run on 17. Um, um, and it's also possible that, sorry, let me restate that. It's possible it might take glassfish team longer to run on 17. Um, I don't really understand the impact of that yet on the EE10 schedule. But the impact there might be perhaps other implementations might cover the JDK 17 testing in some fashion. Yet to be determined what that means. I don't know what that means yet, and that's something that would probably be discussed more on the platform calls. And it has been discussed a little bit, but um, if other implementations are needed to run on 17 for the EE10 release before Glassfish finishes their 17 support, we'll have to figure out what that means. And so just kind of wanted to share those general thoughts on it, and just that there is work to be done and discussions to be had about what that would mean. But so that could be interesting for the other implementations to be able to consider. But I know it's a lot of work for everybody. So, all right.
Scott, let me interject here. Maybe it's not the right window to ask, but for 10, it's okay, we're using glassfish, but we have talked enough about neutrality, and especially for testing. Is there any plan in the future for the releases that are coming up after 10 to use something else aside from glassfish? We are thankful to glassfish, right? Since 2005 when it came to life, but do we want it to continue to support it as we do now without diversity, right? There are very few implementations that use something else. We all need to push towards and move forward with glassfish, but what does it mean for the ecosystems, the lack of absolute innovation on that side of the fence? We put all our efforts into glassfish and there is no diversity. Where can we do something? Like, doesn't mean that like most of the work needs to go into diverse vendors to say, hey, we will use this. This is a lot of work. I'm not sure how others feel, but are these conversations being tagged in the public? Because I know we have them in the private committees a lot for many years, but I rarely see them coming into public, and I don't see neutrality here at all. Since the call is recorded, I think it's a nice thing for us to start being more comfortable discussing, hey, can we do this? It's not about switch. You did say switch. I'm talking about adding other server that will help us with the TCK. So switch is maybe, um, what is it called? Not the right word I want to say, adding something else that could be worked towards to. When we work with the TCK, we change it a little bit here and there. We're talking about simplifying the TCK, adding new tests and things like that. But if we continue to use only glassfish, what does it say about our technology and its future? There's no diversity. We have to, it's not only about features, right?
I get the yeah, I certainly get the get the idea. Um, um, the um, I mean the reason for 10 um, um, you know to use glassfish as a primary target is because it implements all of the optional technologies. So it's the only implementation that can pass all of the um, the different TCKs. Um, so I think the fallback on that, even for 10, if we couldn't pass with glassfish all of the technologies, I think the fallback would have been to remove some technologies so that other implementations that that provided a subset of those technologies could have been the first implementation. So it's really I guess it's you know um, yeah the co- I, gue- yeah the, so the,
Refactoring.
um, sorry,
No, go
refactoring.
ahead. I'm sorry, I stopped you there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so the um, so the so the yeah the first implementation needs to pass all TCKs is the current rule. Um, and but anyways, the fallback was that we could have we would have to remove things that the um, um, the set of all whatever first implementations that would have been used instead, the set of all technologies would have been would have to be the defining set of what's in the release. We'd have to remove everything else that's not in those compatible implementations as a superset, as a combined set. Uh, um, um, so I mean that was sort of a fallback. So it's kind of that's kind of a a question going forward as well. If we can figure out
Mhm.
how to do that, then
Yes, and my point is, I don't see the conversations coming into the threads. I mean, the email forums. It is continues to be private, and everyone here hopefully understand how I feel about privacy and open source with relations to technology creation. And it just seems to me that though we know it's there, we have seen the elephant, we're not discussing it. We think the people in those private calls are the only ones that matter and care for this because we continue to keep it private. But there is no reason for us not to discuss this via the mailing list. It would reach, if we were to use, there are mailing lists that are like close to 100, other ones have 50. But we could have, it's like, it doesn't really even need to be only the mailing lists. We could be more social about this. It's just, but Scott, I don't want to monopolize this. I'm just saying, I'm glad that everyone here is aware, and thanks for writing in the minutes, what the status. How do we do this? It's not for this call to discuss, but definitely can we have it like as a standard every time we have a call, at least 5 minutes dedicated to, you see a status. The status, my recommendation is the status is, where are we on this? So that it's recorded and at least we are aware of there's no progress and why is that, and et cetera, et cetera,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I don't remember. It may have been, it may have been in private discussions. In my opinion, the only reason why it didn't come up in detail in the recent platform calls is just because they, we haven't had time to kind of, okay, if we did that, how would we do it? But we did in the last few weeks, though, it did come up. It's just there's just been very little time to
I
discuss.
know.
So,
It's cat.
yep,
It's cat. Let me cut you there.
yep,
The excuse that we put ourselves through is always we don't have time for this. We're always strapped for time. We need to stop apologizing for not having the time and prioritize what we need to do without excuses. These excuses have been going for so many years since we moved like Java EE to the Eclipse Foundation. And I swear to you that I see this continue to be a problem for the next maybe 3 years. We will be arriving to 2017 and still have not solved this because we will always have less time. It is about prioritization. And if we talk about prioritization, we don't have it as a priority. So we need to be honest with ourselves and say, hey, we are not prioritizing it because we have something that works. Let's move forward. And I think that would be more honest. We can always smile and say we don't have the time, but that is not the truth. At least in my view.
yep. And just to, not to drill too far into it, but yeah, we just we have been running out of time in the calls. So, but yeah, okay. Let's see. All right. So yeah. So we covered that as much as we can, I think. So anything, any updates on the Faces TCK? I think the last I read were, there were some, tests that aren't ready that just are going to get, you know developed in a future release. Is that right, Alan? Was
Yeah,
that the face?
yeah. So for Faces TCK, well, just to give a background, we had migrated all the test sources from the Jakarta TCK to this new repository for Faces API. So it actually it's in a new folder along with the new tests that are added in the Faces repo. So yes, I can see that from the email that the ballot for Faces that they have started like an hour before. So they have created this new TCK that contains new tests and the old TCK. So the bundle is generated and available in the TCK location for Jakarta TCK itself. But the TCK is being run in the Faces Jenkins instance for now. So we had this 1,000 failures when we had migrated the sources from Jakarta TCK with a lot of help from community. In fact, one specific person called Volodymyr, we were able to resolve all the failures except 25 of them. So for those failing tests, we have added them to the exclude list for now, and those 25 will be addressed in the next release. Also to note that we have around 5,400 tests in the old TCK. Along with that, the new tests are about 240, I believe. So yeah, we have just excluded 25 tests out of those, which will be addressed in the next release. Yeah, most of the work was done by the Faces spec team and someone who had volunteered to resolve the failures.
Great, terrific. All right. Okay, so that means we're in good shape there. Uh, and and the and I think I saw you ask, but the Faces CI is going to, is building and running. Um, 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 is it running?
No,
Oh,
Jakarta TCK Jenkins CI is building the TCK. I think the execution of the test is done by the Faces CI.
okay.
I don't know if it is a temporary thing, but for now, for the ballot, they have used the bundle that is built from Jakarta TCK. Ideally, they would move the building also into the faces Jenkins instance, probably soon.
Okay. And do you know what are they just they're running Mariah, aren't they?
Yes, but yeah, ideally the implementation is Moira, but it's like Glassfish is used as a vehicle for expression. It's Mojara, it's MOJ, I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Great. Good. Nice. So any other let's any other standalone TCKs that are the new ones that aren't ready yet or aren't done yet? I think
No, the other TCK that was recently separated was security TCK. That was already, I think, security ballot have already started.
Faces ballot started this morning as well, by the way.
oh sorry.
Faces
Faces.
ballot did start this morning, so
Oh, okay.
Yes,
they
yes.
must have the
Nice.
TCK in a state that allows for them to go to ballot.
Nice.
Yeah, Faces was the last one to start.
I think it just went out, right? This morning?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh,
About
that's
2 hours ago.
fantastic. Yes, sorry, I was like muggling here. I was like, yeah, that's amazing.
Great. Okay. I guess I should share that the platform, the platform TCK user doc is still in need of updates for the new TCKs and other than JSON B and JSON P. They've been updated to mention JSON B and JSON P, but we need to add the other um, yeah, TCKs that are needed to be run by the different implementations. I made a first pass this morning at just mostly updating the version numbers and a few other updates just in a draft PR just to kind of get that going. And let me just I'll link in the add the link to that. Let's see. Started updating platform. Oops. TCK doc. Yeah. Oops. And just the user guide. It didn't do the install guide, but that's that'll be next. But also we'll add the new TCKs. So new standalone TCKs need to be added still. So typically we wait till the very end to update the doc. So just trying to get that out of the way. All right. Okay, I am. The floor is open if it, to any other. Let's see. There is the next column. Discuss refactoring and simplify. Get this. Okay, so I guess that was from last Okay, so I guess from last call. Yep, I see it now. Yep, last call we talked about talking about refactoring and simplifying. Um, one idea on refactoring that I can yeah, we did discuss on the mailing list too. But one thought is add more I should say nominate more committers um, to work on new test um, um, new ways of running TCK tests. And so the idea that there and what I was thinking of with nominating more committers is to try and get just to increase our base of committers on the platform TCK, bring in more people that have contributed to the other new TCKs, either in the ones in progress or the ones that have been written, and try and get them to help out on the platform TCK rewriting. And one it's in the I'm just going to reorder. I'm just going to move up this last item on that. Oops, did I just did cut too much? So try that again. Okay. So the one thought about the main branch, the main branch or the master branch. Whatever it was we had decided the new name. Oh, I think it's going to be. I think we're gonna. I think we're in favor of version based branch names. But anyways, whatever the branch is, um, to, that the suggestion is to start to move the refactoring into our main development branch, so that we kind of keep the ant TCK testing as long as it's needed, side by side with the new Maven and Archillian or whatever framework, um, side by side, so that if we run out of time for the next release, we don't end up with nothing to show from the refactoring. So we can kind of get make incremental progress and be able to ship that with the next release without having to block the next EE release on the completion of the refactoring. And I would love feedback on that idea. Um, So if we do that, we'll drop the refactoring branch and just have the master main or EE 10.1 or 11, whatever the new branch name is, and do our refactoring there directly. So good. So I guess it's not too crazy of an idea. If no one is saying that's crazy.
No, on the contrary, I think it's amazing. This is why I posted it back. It's easy to forget that we met a month ago.
I really appreciate that, because I did forget that. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's totally great. We don't approve the minutes from past calls. And, it's just like, I remember that you wanted to talk about this and then there were 2 minutes left and I said,
Yep.
let's just end it. And then I felt it's my responsibility since I cut the last one.
Yep. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, the TCK mailing list, yeah, let's get the discussion going. Yeah, we've heard that, we know about that. And does anyone have any other topics that we didn't cover yet that should be covered?
I have a question here. The Jakarta 10 is going to be released, and within the Eclipse Foundation, there is always the blog and all the things that that go into the page of the release. I'm not sure if in the TCK part of the fence that so much work has been done, any of you are or have been welcome to send quotes or things like this. Clearly, I'm not behind like the managing of that, but it seems to me that you should have voices, and especially in a formal announcement. And if you are not, there is a mailing list for marketing where you could send your quotes and hopefully say, hey, this is a quote. I have been integral contributor to this project. And sometimes it's not about highlighting or putting the light on ourselves, but I think it is important to be heard, especially when some of you are extremely technical and contributing your time to the project. Attending the calls is awesome, but the work is done in the Git, right? And a quote that is maybe less than 60 words might be wonderful. I'm not sure how Alwyn and Jared and Brian feel. I think Scott is used to this kind of like notoriety, but would you appreciate having that opportunity? And if so, what is stopping you from requesting that? Clearly, I'm asking you, everyone here, including you, Scott. Clearly.
I would put myself into the group of people who, I mean, I like to do, hands down, heads down development, and you know, I participate in all these calls and everything, but I definitely, would fall into the group of, people who wouldn't just, volunteer that. But I think it's a great idea. Maybe we could share some of it on the mailing list. I don't know. I don't know how to pull it together. Maybe we could work. I don't know if we, I don't know how to do it
Now,
collaboratively. I guess would be, if we, we could just we could kind of do it jointly, if there's desire there, and then,
mhm.
People could contribute to that, and we could add to it, and kind of, all sign it together. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
thinking outside the box. But,
Scott, you nailed it. Alwyn, Jared, Brian, what is your take on this? Like community, small quotes, something that, that represents, the aggregate work that could be used, would be so valuable. We talk about refactoring and the need for new contributors. How do you expect to get new contributors if you're so silent, not seen or appreciated anywhere? We're not talking about a paycheck. We're talking about bringing contributors from all over the world to say, hey, I want to have that mentor. I am studying in computers. I still not graduated. I'm looking for a project. I feel welcome here, right?
yeah, I suppose like one plug on the new contributors, we can talk about the refactoring opportunity to, to work on the refactoring. But I think it's, once it's refactored, then I think we will get more contributors. But
You should be like wild at it. Alwyn, you unmuted yourself. Do you have anything to say?
No, I think I agree with Scott about including the codes. Like we can check with the mailing list and ask people to about their opinion. I mean, about the major contribution that was done for Jakarta. That's what about the codes for list blog, right? Major contributions that was done for Jakarta 10. Uh, So we are talking about the codes that need to be included in the release log for the from TCKs, right?
Not only it's not the calls, it's just like your work and the TCK, like, reviewing tests, passing tests, reviewing commits, merging commits, these kind of things. Like some of you were granted commit access immediately through employment. Others of you through work got to be committers. We're talking about your current work and how exemplary is it, how much fun and frustrations you have through the process of 10, which is the first release with features. Nothing is more exciting to a developer than creating something new, especially features. This is our time to share, right? I think Scott has a great idea of, hey, maybe something of community quote that, the TCK ecosystem could ask the Eclipse Foundation marketing team to put into that release, right? I see the releases and the announcements, and my critique has always been it lacks community voices and the level of, we don't hear from an API. I would call like the TCK an API, totally standalone, right? I would call it API just because it's lazy, easy. We never hear from, like to say this group did, we believe, and then sign, or you can say, the platform or the TCK project, right? It seems to me that the TCK ecosystem could lead the effort to become much more inviting and visible on those formal communications. And even so, this project should have its own blog posted in the Jakarta news. And we could use the TCK GitHub to write a blog and say, this is what went behind, the TCK work. And it will be amazing because changing that blog can only take a PR, and many different people, not committers, can be a part and feel appreciated, because the help are not committers, and Tommy Tribe created what is it called? An application that pulls in every committer, every contributor that has done any work from the moment 9.1 was finished. That PR will trigger all of it, and it will be, each contributor will be highlighted. But we're talking about what else can we do? And I think a blog together will also help, right? This is just talking about how do you communicate so that more committers, more contributors can be added to the work that is currently done. We have a lot of work. We continue to complain that we don't have the time, but it's because we need more help. And the only help that is possible is when we speak up and say, this is what we're doing, join us, and this is how we do it, right? Simplicity works, and being humble also works, but we need to speak up and be super proud of the work completed, right? And it's just so simple. It takes communication, constant communication.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So that sounds like, something to, that we'll do. And anything else? All right. It looks like we have 20 minutes of our collective time left. So I wanted to, thank everybody. This is, great to see you all and talk with everyone here.
Well, I tweeted. I always tweet. I love it. I love each one of you, like seeing. I love openness, so I always tweet. So there are the tweet is shared in the chat. So please, if you don't have Twitter, it's fine, but definitely, highlight. This is, we invested the time to show up and discuss openly. So it's just super fun. Thanks, Scott, for bringing us together.
Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day or night.
In May. Yeah, super healthy May, everyone. Let's do this.
just want to take a look at the chat quickly, see what, oh, okay, thank you. Thanks.
Mhm,
There's,
I will not get to the
we-
agenda. Mhm.
all right, I'm gonna stop recording.